I have a very special guest today. He's the #1 ranked welterweight contender in Combate Global, and he just got an impressive victory on July 1st. And he joins me here only a few days later. He is Marcos Lloreda. Mark, thank you for being here. It's a huge honor, and I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. Thank you, my bro. I'm very appreciative of you always. You've been with me for a very long time, and I'm a fan of your work as well, and seeing how much we both grow, and it's just pretty cool and pretty neat that we can link up together, bro.
It's been like roughly 2 years since I've last interviewed you, and there's been a lot of things that have been happening at Freedom Fighters MMA. Your teammate Vasquez, he gets a highlight reel knockout. Lewis, he's getting ready to fight in Titan FC. Lupe, she just won her fight in Combate, and then you have Jacob Diaz, who just signed a multi-fight deal with them. So it's like everyone seems to be leveling up, and I just kind of wanted to get your opinion. Like, what have the past couple years been like?
Anybody that does our program at Freedom Fighters Martial Arts under Manuel Lopez and Ray Fundora correctly, you know what I'm saying? Day and night, every single day is guaranteed results. Okay? Some of us, for whatever reason, because of work or injuries or this or that, can't really do the program to the fullest. And because of that, have gotten varied results, including myself. When I've lost fights, it's because I didn't put in 100 in whatever aspect it was. But those who decide to cut zero corners and do the program from top to bottom are guaranteed results. Okay, that's what I had to say about Freedom Fighters. What else do I have to say about Freedom Fighters? Freedom Fighters is known as that now, but for a long time ago before, I'm pretty sure I told you this, we were also known as American Top Team Kendall. We were like a sublet, like a little, because ATT throughout Florida has a bunch of little franchise gyms, and we were the one in Miami that was blessed onto Alexis Villa, and it was like a little Miami chapter of ATT. You know what I'm saying? So we've been training with super high level guys there for like a decade, really, at least. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, my coach Manuel Lopez, he wanted his own credibility or whatever. So he decided to branch off, so that Freedom Fighters just resonates with him. So that's the reason for the name change and whatnot. But I've told you the guys that I trained with before that have been there for decades.
One final question about your gym. Like, you have a really important role in your gym. Like, there are a lot of people that look up to you. And I know that you're like a captain there, and there's like a lot of burden that comes with like being in a role like that. How are you managing to be a good teammate, but also like worry about your own stuff at the same time? Like, that's got to be hard to do.
Yeah, it's a really good question actually. Um, Honestly, I feel like it helps me as a fighter, like too though. Like you're saying, for example, like the coach, like older mentor brother type bro, how like I have to basically put in the time to myself too. You're kind of insinuating that, right?
Right.
But one thing I learned is, and it's they say in Spanish, enseña. Like when you coach and when you do all those things of mentoring people and stuff like that, it makes you better because mentally you're going over the repetition, and just like you're keeping them accountable, you have to keep yourself accountable, and you have to set that standard and example for everybody. So it's a two-way street, really. The fact that I have to be that kind of like an older brother, mentor, coach figure, it helps me go, bro. And then when I'm breaking down a technique or doing this, coaching or showing somebody something, in my own head, I realized I was like, oh crap, that's right, that is how you do that, or this or that. So it just makes you that much better in all aspects, I feel like.
Yeah, I can get why you're saying that, and then also, is it maybe a little bit more rewarding to see like
Of
your
course.
teammates like go in and achieve success? Like Lupe, for example, she drops her first fight in Combate, but then she turns around and puts on a great performance. Like, I know it was a little bit different because you were both competing on the same card, so you may not have been as plugged in as
No,
you.
no, no. I watched it right after mine.
And that's what
It was
I wanted
awesome.
to ask you. Like, did you have the opportunity to watch her fight? And
Yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah.
you did. How was that?
Dude, look. So the way it works back there is like obviously, there's just the arena. I got out of the arena, like the little area where the cage and stuff is. I sat in the back. I sat down to get my breath together. I was a little bit tired from just fighting. They gave me my checks. They pay you immediately, and they have like a little TV screen there. And I watched Lupe's fight because she walks literally right after me. Proud
That
of me.
must have been a really cool moment for you too, to see her get her first professional win like that, knowing how hard
Yeah,
she works and everything that she's putting into it, and to finally get that result.
damn right, bro. Damn right. She looked so good in the fight too. She looked great on the stand up. The girl kept trying to take her down and she couldn't. Like, everything that we work on, when you see it coming to fruition, it's that much more rewarding.
You are 6 bouts into your Combate Global career, but when I think of you, like now I associate you with Combate, but you've also fought in many other promotions over the years. You fought in CES, that's one of them. You've also fought in Titan FC. And is it different? Like Combate Global, to me, as the outsider looking in, it just seems like they do things a lot differently. Yeah.
Adapt.
Yes, yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Fighting for Combate.
Is it different? Yes. I mean, the no crowd or lack of crowd, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
this last fight, they're allowing guests, like
Mhm.
special guests, so there was like 80 to 100 people maybe. So, and then that was the first time I did that since before, I ever signed with Combate, and all the fights were with no crowd.
Mhm.
And it only helps me when there's people there because, like, it's my people. So, like, they're giving me corner advice, and I'm like, oh, okay. Or, like, I'll ask for the time. How much time I got left? 1 minute.
Well, it also just seems a little interesting to me in the sense like, and maybe it's just in my head and maybe I'm biased, but it seems like in Combate, like if you get a takedown, if the fight goes to the ground, like you better stay busy because like
Yeah, you
they
better
do
stay
not
busy. I don't
have
like it.
like they don't have any sort of patience for
They
people that
don't.
are laying in guard and aren't advancing or posturing up or doing damage. And when you go for that takedown, it's like you better have a plan. Like you better start.
Oh, 100%, bro. Every takedown that I got this fight, I made sure to stay busy with my punching and trying to pass, in advance because I knew they were going to stand it up, which is cool. That's fine. I support that idea of constant action. I like that, and I hate laying praying. If you see me fight, you know that it's basically I agree. Yeah, I agree. So I don't have a problem with that. And I like it. It's good that they're like that. They should continue to do it. But yeah, that's what went through my head when I got my TDs was stay busy. Advanced position, and if they stand me up, then fuck it, I'll keep beating them up here too.
I've always been curious with you at home. It's an open scoring format, so they show us on the broadcast what the scores are. Are your coaches, are they telling you what the score is during your fight, or do you not want to know?
Yeah, no, of course, bro. We have to know. My corner gives the most brutally honest cornering out there, and it's necessary, and it could be the difference between winning and losing a fight, bro. So it's super important, you know.
And in your previous fighting career, not knowing the score to now knowing the score, like, is that something that you would like to see rolled out for like the UFC, Bellator, and all these other promotions? And
So
oh,
what? The live scoring?
yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it only helps provide incentive if it's a close fight and one of the guys thought he was winning when he didn't really win the round. You know what I mean? And it provides more incentive for the guys to go out there and be that much more aggressive, maybe, if they have to be. So, of course, yeah, I'd like to see that.
For you, you're also in kind of like an interesting spot. You're, as I mentioned before when I introduced you, you're the number one welterweight contender for Combate.
I don't know if they're sticking to the rankings anymore.
Well, when you go on the website, like you're still the number one guy, and I
Am
was,
I? That's awesome.
yeah, you're the number one guy, and I was going to ask you like what's going on with like that ranking system. I think you just kind of answered that question. You no news on your front. You not have you heard anything like
Nothing.
as far as a
No
title
talk.
fight?
No talk of a title fight. What I will say is, after the whole call out or whatever, Campbell wrote me a message and he called me a star. So that sounds good to me.
Well, let's talk about we're hitting on a couple interesting things. Before we talk about Jimmy Pace, I wanted to talk about you specifically in this last fight. There are a lot of things that you were able to check off that I really liked. Of course, I think about you. I think about striking. I think about boxing. I just think about like a stand-up war. But you level changed really well. I don't know if he was able to stop any one of your takedowns at any point over the
Oh,
fight.
oh, that's
Um,
why.
and I liked the game plan. I thought it was a really complete performance, and I thought it was a dominant fight from you. Can you tell me a little bit like what was your plan like kind of going into this fight, and what are some of the key takeaways that you recall from the first?
Okay. Okay, good question. Um, so throughout the fight, as you see, you know, I was getting the better of him striking, but if he's that much more easier to wrestle, why not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like common sense, right? And when I studied footage of his prior fights going into the fight, I noticed that he had a left hand of fucking from hell, dude. Like he had a straight left hand. Well, he'll be like in like a tough ass fight, this or that, losing up and down, scrambling around, and he'll just go bah, and the guy fall. Like you know what I mean? Like touch of death type power, right? And then if you saw in the first round, dude, he's coming through my power. I hit him with the right hand, boom. I hit him with the left hook, boom, and he just touches me with that left hook. And I don't know if you saw my legs gave, bro.
Did see that, and I was
My
gonna
legs
ask you
gave.
like I was gonna ask you that, Mark.
I
Like
was hurt. Yes, if people were wondering, yes, I was very hurt, dude. I just remember seeing like a big flash in like out the corner of my eye, and my legs just completely going out on me, and then like kind of like blacking out, and then being out on his legs and finishing the takedown. And I was like, in my head, I was like in my perspective at the time, I was like, oh, this guy, like I just teleported towards my target, his legs. How good! I got my takedown right. And then in between rounds, when I'm looking at the TV screen of like what had happened in the round, I saw that I got dropped, dude. I was like, oh shit, I got dropped. So, needless to say, that's also going to encourage you to want to wrestle a little bit more, right? You're going to be like, bro, I just almost gave this guy the chance of beating me. Why? You know, if he's that easy, no disrespect to the guy, if he's that easy to wrestle, why not keep going to the well?
and that's exactly what you did.
Exactly what I did. You know what I mean?
The takedowns were great. But you also, apart from taking that left, like you were also inflicting damage on the feet as well.
Yeah, no. I
You
outstruck
changed
him
it
too, and
up.
I'm a better striker. That's what I'm trying to say is I was clearly a better striker, but you know what I'm saying? Why even give him that, you know?
You took his fangs out of his mouth by going for the takedowns,
You know what I mean?
and I thought that was important.
Yeah, and it's funny, bro, because after the fight, when we were in the back, he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, bro, I thought we were going to fight." I was like, I was like, I'm sorry, bro. If your wrestling was a little bit better, then maybe it would have been. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you went out there. I thought it was like one of your more. I thought it was probably your most complete performance. Like you
I
looked
think
in
it
it.
was my best performance besides getting clipped. I left.
Well, I liked it. I liked it. And you
Part
know,
of the
he's
game.
a dangerous guy. And you know, it's a fight, and these sort of things can happen over the
Yeah,
course of
right.
the fight. And that's what a lot of people, I think, from the outside don't maybe think about as much as they should. Like it's a fight. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and there's no such thing as an easy fight, bro.
How is he going to react to that? Seeing you take like a big left like that, it's like, okay, well, is he going to start brawling? Because I feel like we see two things. You
It's
either
important.
you
Very important. I
yeah,
already know
you
what you're gonna
either
say. Yeah.
you either brawl in response, or it's like, okay, I'm going to mix it up now,
No,
and you
there's a
mix it up.
couple. There's a couple responses that you can see from there. You can see the dummy. Sorry to be disrespectful. The dummy response, which is that you brawl and woo, whatever me or you, whatever happens. You see the guy just fold, bro. You see the guy like, oh, I'm done. That's it. I'm hurt. It's over. Blah blah blah. Or you see that dirty dog. The dirty dog. Come in and get that wrestling boy.
Well,
You saw that shit? That shit was sick, dude. He was sprawled out one top. His cup was on the back of my head like that. Like that's an impossible double leg to finish. But I got that from a fucking Ben Askren video. I switched to a single leg. It's called a cutback, and then you bring their leg across your chest and your head pressure that way. Whoop! And if fucking good wrestlers, they do the split defense, and you keep scrambling from there. But he didn't have balance like that, so he fell on his back.
you went out there.
Chain wrestling.
Perf-
I've gotten a lot better, dude, as you see, dude.
I can see that, and here we
I've
are.
been working, dude, because I've been inactive for so fucking long, bro. Dude, I was supposed to fight in April. Then they push it back. Then in May. Then they push it back all the way to July. Dude, this is only my first fight this fucking year. So I'll go ahead and say that now, even though we're gonna get to it anyway. I'm happy with Combate aside from the activity, bro. I don't know what's going on as of lately. Last year and this year have been horrible, dude, and I'm only getting older, you know?
Well,
So we'll see what happens, man. But they better get me moving quick.
you just got your 13th professional victory. It was a complete performance. It's probably my favorite fight of yours. And now here
Thank
we are. And I look at things, it's like, okay, well, we're in the middle of summer here, and the year is more than halfway over. And you look great. Like I wouldn't have known that you were in a cage fight here a week or so ago. You look
Yeah, this is the least. Sorry to cut you off. This is the least amount of damage I've ever taken in a 3 round fight, and I've done a lot of those. Usually, at least like my hands or my tibias from kicking
sure.
something. The only thing that hurt was I got fucking mat burns on my knees from wrestle fucking the shit out of this guy.
Well, and I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you get back out there because it didn't look like you got cut. It didn't look like
Yeah,
you
I could
got
fight
injured.
tomorrow, dude. I mean, between me and you, and between whoever the fuck is watching this, us being smart, I'm taking 30 days off sparring because I got clipped, bro. And you don't want to lose your chin, dog. If you lose your chin, that's hard RIP to your career, dude. So I'm playing smart as far as that.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to see you back in the cage at the absolute latest sometime this
They're
fall
saying
if you're
they're saying
healthy.
fall. Yeah, they're saying fall, and then hopefully I could get another one like in December. Hopefully get 3 A's here.
So
That's what we're aiming for.
this leads me to another important question. When I think of you, you're the type of guy like you don't call people out. Like I know you pretty well. Like you
I
you don't
don't.
you
Yeah.
don't call people out. You're pretty even keeled guy for a fighter anyway. Like you're a pretty even keeled guy. You're a guy that doesn't talk a lot of shit. You just go out there and fight. Tell me
Mhm.
like what's the deal with the Jimmy Pace call out? I have to ask you that because that I
Okay,
was
I'll start from the
shocked when I
beginning.
read it. I was shocked when I read it.
I'll start from the beginning. So first off, I know it's far fetched. I don't want to come across as a fucking bully, because I hate bullies. I know the kid is only 3-0, and I have way more experience than him. Blah blah blah, right? But first off, he's a fucking bully. All his fights have been like the lowest of low opposition, like can crushing at its finest. Dude, that poor Spanish guy that he beat up on the same card, like he was like old. He had like gray hairs in his beard. He was like balding. Like he didn't even train for the fight. And then Pace, you guys didn't see it before at the Wayne stare downs. He like put on like a Grim Reaper robe and had a noose and like started like putting it on the guy's face, like just like super disrespectful and like super bully, 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 bully. I don't like seeing shit like that, you know what I mean? But still, with all that, these are just things accumulating in my head. Like, I don't really like what the guy's doing, but at the same time, I know they're not going to give me to him. I'm too big, bad, and experienced or whatever, right? But I hear to the grapevine. Well, I hear from my manager first off that Campbell, the owner, wanted to see it. Two welterweights on the same card, blah blah blah. He's undefeated. I'm more experienced, but I have a bunch of losses, so maybe it's a good test. Whatever that narrative. So I hear that, and I'm like, oh shit. Maybe my wet dream could come true, right? Right. Then I hear through my boy, one of my boys who's a fighter who's friends with an official. I probably shouldn't say names, but whatever. The official said that the commission was talking about they don't want to see Jimmy Page crushing any more cans. He needs to get tested already. Marcus Lloreda, he has, more experience, but he's got a couple losses. We feel like he'd be a perfect test for Jimmy Pace, right? So then he's telling my boy, who's telling me, hey, if Lloreda makes a little bit of noise, then maybe we can make that fight happen, right? So I have all that in my head, but I'm still, like you said, I'm not a call out. I'm not the call out kind of person, right? But this is like Monday morning. I'm by myself. I'm at Flanagan's. I'm going through my fucking phone, and I have to see this guy's ugly fucking face with his little bullshit sob story of like, my mom works 3 jobs. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge this guy, bro. Said what I said, meant it, got the reaction that I got. At first it was funny. His dumbass bit on debate, Pace, and he wants to fight, right? Good for him, whatever. His fucking coach or manager or whatever, Azim, is not gonna let it happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I almost regretted doing it at that point because then I had to deal with all this fucking bullshit from those kids who love fucking living on the internet and all their little typing wars and shit like that. But I don't know. I feel like Campbell saw that and he liked, like the little drama, and then that's when he called me a star or whatever. And I feel like if it doesn't happen now, at least like I fueled the flame of it eventually happening. Because bro, it's clear. And then it's like they want to talk all this shit. And I saw what Pace was putting that my manager said, bro, that's a lie. Everybody here knows that I'm willing to take that fucking fight. They're the ones declining it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious, bro. Stop acting like you're not. But whatever. We'll see. I don't think Azim knows that I'll fucking run through him, so he's not going to make it happen. But hopefully, I don't know, he crushes 2 or 3 more cans and then he can't run from me no more. We'll see. We'll see.
I would like to see that fight. I think it's an exciting fight. I think Pace is a good fighter. I think he needs to fight somebody like you. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, right?
I'd like to see it.
Everybody would like to see it except for him, except for them.
Well, Mark, I wanted to ask you just kind of really briefly before we conclude here. It's like, and we kind of hit on a few things, but for you, it's like 6 fights in, and I want to see like more. Like it's like I want to see you like fight more. And I know it's out of your hands. I understand.
Trust me, bro. You remember when I think when we started, I was fighting like 4 or 5 times a year. Remember?
Yes.
That's the way I like it, dude. I gotta see what's up. I gotta get on my manager or something.
and
They
I
gotta do something, bro, because it's ridiculous at this point.
and I kind of wanted to ask if you can fight 2 more times like this year, kind of like
I really need that. I really
what's
want that.
what's like the path forward for you? Like what makes sense for you for the rest of 2023, and how do we get the opportunity to fight for the welterweight title? Like what's the path forward for that? Because you're the guy that should be competing for it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just Combate keeping me busy, dude. That's on them, right? I wish I knew, bro. Hopefully, we fight again in the fall, and then at the very end of the year, bro. That's my plan.
Well,
And if a belt is involved, that's cool. It's pretty dope. I could be a fucking champion. Wouldn't mind that.
you have
At the
earned the
same time, all I
opportunity.
want,
You've earned an
huh?
opportunity for a title fight with Combate.
Awesome. I'm glad you think that way, bro. Thank you.
I absolutely think that way. And I want to give you, my friend, the final word. If there's anyone out there that you'd like to thank before we go, I'd like for you to have that chance.
Uh, I'd like to thank you, bro, for giving me the platform.
Well,
I
it's
mean, of
my
course,
pleasure.
my coaches, all my people, my gym, everybody that I love, we're all fucking family. I was with Justin and these guys last night. Oh, Justin's fighting this week. I'm gonna be there again.
Oh,
Can't wait to see him kill it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that's I like watching him fight, man. Like that.
he's so good, dude. He's so good.
I just I talk about him a lot, and I'm amazed that like there's not enough people who really know about him. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
like
but I mean, he broke the internet with his last fight,
well,
and he'll probably break the internet again with this one.
I'm looking forward to big things from him. He's a special fighter.
Special, yeah, super talented.
Yeah, I think of that guy, and I think of somebody like wrestling number one. He's a very good wrestler, but he's good
Top to
everywhere.
bottom,
He's really good.
everywhere. Yeah, striking, wrestling, ground, everywhere.
Yeah, like that guy. That guy's the truth, man, for sure.
Damn right.
Well, Mark, I appreciate you spending your afternoon with.
Hey,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm sorry for fucking coming late and sleeping on the thing, bro. That was an asshole move, dog.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate you showing up, man. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to having you back here in a few more months, I hope.
Anytime, my brother. Thank you so much.